Welcome to Monday Morning with Tanny. Today is October 19th, 2020. Today we are going to carry on with our Touchstones of Suicide Grief by Dr. Alan Wolfelt. I'll be going through Touchstone 7 and 8 today, which you will notice is out of order. I have done 1, 2, and 3 so far. However, I repeatedly talk about self-care and reaching out for help, and I realized that this is an extremely important touchstone pair to talk about. And if you have the book, you can automatically go to those touchstones and receive support and understanding that way. However, we're watching videos and there is no way to fast forward to that chapter unless I do that. So I decided that I would jump forward. And much like the loss of a person through suicide is a I can't think of the word right now, it's not expected, it's not a linear thing. We assume a certain pattern of death of people in our lives, and suicide disrupts that immensely. I figured that I talk about how grief and mourning is not linear, then I decided that I should also do this in a non-linear way, just to create more permission and understanding that you are welcome and encouraged to experience this as your journey. And your journey is not like anyone else's. I feel that's very important. So I am Tanny Reed Walker, and if you have never joined our Facebook Live before, or the YouTube videos or anything, welcome. I am sad that you are meeting me this way under these circumstances. However, I am very grateful that you are here and receiving some support. If you are watching this live, I would love it if you would put #live, and if you are watching it as a replay, I would love if you would put #replay. Of course, that's not necessary. Your grief is your own, and your experience is your own, and your expression of who you are and what's going on for you on social media is yours as well. I would just appreciate it if you feel moved to do that. Also, please share. You can share on all of the different types of social media. You have no idea who in your realm is dealing with this. Suicide is a taboo subject for many, many people, and there is a stigma around it, and I would really like to be able to support people who may be feeling really alone in this journey. Also, I have other videos that I've been doing that are in relation to different types of grief and different experiences of grief and different things about grief, and I just would love to have that shared with people. Anybody who's watched my videos knows that I'm a massive fan of Dr. Alan Wolfelt. He has a center in Colorado called the Center for Grief and Loss Transition, and it is a wonderful, wonderful place. He has so many books. The books that I am currently working with in this series are this one, The Wilderness of Suicide Grief, Finding Your Way. It is a small, compact book with lots of chapters on all of the touchstones that we'll be going through. It's more brief. It's really nice, short, easy read. The font is large. It's just a lovely support. A more in-depth book that I like to work from is this one, Understanding Your Suicide Grief. This one has the same touchstones as the Wilderness of Suicide Grief. It's just more in depth. So this is the one that I refer to while we're going through this. And there is a journal. It's around here somewhere. Not sure. Maybe I'll show it to you later. Okay. So we're going to go through the touchstone 7 and 8. So that's nurturing yourself and reaching out for support. I was prepping and planning for touchstone 4, and then all of a sudden it hit me, oh my Lanta, we're supposed to be doing this one today. So let's hope it goes well. If you have any comments, I will do my best to keep track of them. Sometimes they show up, sometimes they don't. Technology is so fun. It can help us reach out, but it can also be frustrating. So if I'm not responding to your comments, I will respond to them after the session. All right. So nurturing yourself. This is so important. This is important in your normal life, and it becomes even more important now that your life is not normal. Compassion, self-compassion, means to do something with passion. So passionately take care of yourself. Be gentle as you're going through this journey. This is not easy. This is uncharted territory for you. This is uncharted territory for the people around you. You are fragile and you are vulnerable, and you need and deserve care. How does that land for you? How does that feel in our society where we're supposed to push through and be strong and take care of others? Some people call it selfish. Those are not your people. Taking care of yourself when you are in these treacherous waters is of the utmost concern, because there is no way to take care of anybody else unless you're being taken care of first. If you are planning on going for a big hike and the weather is going to be unsure, I actually have a friend who hikes, like hardcore hiker, goes out to the mountains, hikes by himself. Stunning pictures, amazing, but in the middle of summer can come across the most treacherous weather and the cold, and he has to pack so much to prepare. But he has to pack wisely because he can't carry all of the things. Like, he's not pulling a giant trailer because he's hiking, and it's insane to me. But with all of the things that he needs, he gets through. And the experience, I know, can be scary and exhilarating and lonely, and there's so many things that go on. But you have to be prepared. You have to take care of yourself. You have to make sure you have the things that will get you through that journey so you can come out the other side. And that is what self-care is during this process. There are things you need. You need to do. You need to focus on you to get through this. And that's not selfish. That's supporting you so you don't freeze to death on the side of the mountain when something dodgy happens. This is a wilderness, and practicing self-care is important. You will be transformed by this journey, and it's so much better if you are taking care of yourself during that transformation. I know that the butterfly analogy is so well used. However, I think it applies here. So this caterpillar It's just trucking along in its life, and then all of a sudden it realizes that it's got to change. It has no choice in whether it's going to change or not. It has to. So this caterpillar wraps itself up in a cocoon. And only recently I realized that its head falls off. Its entire body turns into mush inside of this cocoon. Like, ew. Like, sounds painful. Really intense stuff happens to this caterpillar. And then it breaks free of that cocoon. But if you help the butterfly break that cocoon, it will die. The butterfly has to use its wings to expand out of that cocoon so that the blood inside of the caterpillar works its way through its wings, and it builds up strength and fullness. And if you break that cocoon for the butterfly, it doesn't use all of the movements that it needs to fill out those glorious wings that are going to carry it on through the rest of its life. It just dies because it can't fly. Oh, so this caterpillar ate and ate and ate, built itself a space, and then works through that transition. Just like we need to work through that transition. And we need help to take care of ourselves because the people in our surroundings and those things are our cocoon. But they will not take away your journey. They are just going to be there to support you and hold you while that's happening, so that a bird doesn't come along and peck it. I know that was pretty dark, but this is a dark conversation, isn't it? Okay, so that's transformation. The person who you were is not the person who you are going to be at the other end. The person who you were is not the person who you are today. The person who you are today is not the person who you were yesterday. And that change is exhausting. So we have to nurture yourself. Okay. So take the time to look around your world and find those pieces of things, those moments, those glimpses into the beauty of life. He has a list here, and I enjoy the list, and it's a child's toothless smile, a beautiful sunrise, a bouquet of flowers, the smell of those flowers, a friend's gentle touch. Those are some things to connect with. All right, so there are 5 realms that are very important and encompass all of us. They are physical, emotional, cognitive, social, and spiritual. All of these realms have places and ways of being supportive and nurtured. So let's go through them. The physical realm. A suicide death will feel to your body like an attack. Your body will respond as though it's been attacked. And common physical responses can be sleeplessness, low energy. You may have a hard time waking up. You may have a hard time getting to sleep. You may be shocked at how physically exhausted you really are. You are going to need more rest than normal. You are going to need to slow down. And for some people, that is very difficult. I am one of those people. Slowing down is not normal for me. So when impacted by grief, it's always shocking. And it's good to know that it's normal. It's a normal response to this abnormal situation. You may sleep not normally. So take the time to regulate when you go to bed. Try not to drink alcohol or caffeine. Try to get up at the same time every day. Some people decide they need sleep masks. Some people need soothing noises. Some people need more warmth. Some people need their pet to sleep with them. There are all kinds of things you can do, but try to create a good, healthy habit for your sleep. Lots of times people don't want to go to sleep because sleep is a time when we don't have control. We don't know what's going on. And we just kind of know that psychically, that we don't, like, it's a loss of control. And so that's why a lot of people also with anxiety have a hard time sleeping. It's because there's that need to be aware of the threats that are going on and what's happening. And when someone dies from suicide, are there many more things that are beyond your control than that? That is a huge one. So even just knowing, okay, this is a loss of control. This experience is a loss of control. But I can control when I go to bed, when I get up, how I take care of myself, how I nurture myself. So if you're aware of what control you do have, then perhaps sleeping will be a little easier for you. You may feel muscle aches and pains and a shortness of breath. Your stomach may feel empty. There may be a tightness, hard to breathe. You may have digestive problems, headaches, sensitivity to noise, nausea, heart palpitations, queasiness, weight loss, weight gain, increased allergic reactions, agitation, generalized tension, all the ways you may experience these. And this is your body telling you there has been a big loss and I need to be taken care of. Like, really need to be taken care of right now. If you have a chronic existing health problem already, it may be exacerbated. It may be intensified because of everything that's going on. So you may not feel in control of this body. Self-care is a way you can have some control. Take that time. You are important. Invest that in yourself. That is your control. Your control is how you respond to this situation. And move those feelings out. Talk about it as much as you can. I have a watcher. Thank you, Prisma. Caring for your physical self. So how do you take control? What do? You're probably going to laugh because this is what everybody says, and it's so true. Water. Drink lots and lots of water. Have a favorite water bottle. Have a favorite cup, a mug, water. Set an alarm on your watch to ring off for water. If you don't have that kind of a watch, put it on your phone. Set Alexa, set your Google whatever she's called, all of the things. You can remind yourself to drink water. And you may not like it, but it is a way you have some control over taking care of yourself. And water will lubricate your muscles. It'll flush out toxins. It helps oxygen travel through our body to nourish ourselves. Water is simple and beautiful and amazing. And if you think water is yucky, add some fresh orange squeeze to it. Freeze some grapes and then throw them in and use them as ice. Do cucumber. And if you can't physically imagine doing that for yourself, ask somebody if they would. It's small and it's simple, but it's a big thing. Hydrate yourself. Rest, relax, and renew. So take time every day to rest, relax, and renew. Slow down. take some breaths. If you have small children, you might want to start napping with them. And if they won't nap, you might want to put on their favorite show and lay on the couch with them. It is okay. In fact, it is more than okay. It is beneficial to take that time, to rest, relax, and renew. And try to sleep as well as possible. I've already ranted about that a little bit already today. Sleeping is important. So important. So try to keep your sleep schedule really good. Try to create a good environment for yourself. And if you find you need to take naps and you have the ability to do that, take care of them. But try not to sleep through your day, and try not to make it so that's how you're hiding from your feelings. Try to have a supportive doctor. Some people have a difficult time finding doctors. If you do have a doctor, please let them know about this loss. Please explain to them what's going on for you. And if they aren't a compassionate doctor, maybe time to look for a new one. And laugh. Oh, you may not feel like laughing, but we need to laugh. We need to have some fun in our lives. So you can watch some funny movies, YouTube videos, call that friend that's always guaranteed to make you laugh. And you may laugh and cry, but you're going to release a lot. Find some things that make you laugh. Sometimes talking to somebody about the funny things about the person that has passed on is a great way to laugh. You can mix it up. Find safe people and safe places and safe things to help you laugh. Sometimes watching your pets play or children play is a great way to laugh. Take time to laugh. I so often hear about how children just really help people get through, and I think it's because they're so full of laughter still. So take time to laugh. The emotional realm. So Touchstone 4, which I have not done yet, which I'll probably do next week, is about emotions. And we will talk about a great deal of emotions that come with suicide grief. You are going to be feeling emotions, so we need to know how to take care of those emotions. Primarily, the number one thing to do is acknowledge and express those emotions. So even when you're just aggravated and you don't know what's going on, just stopping for a second and saying, I'm aggravated. And then asking yourself, why am I aggravated? What's going on in my life? Other than the obvious, or including the obvious. What's happening in this moment? And it's like, oh, it started to snow today. And that was my loved one's favorite thing, because they knew snowboarding season was coming. And I know that they would be like messaging me today normally and celebrating the start of this wonderful season for them. And that makes me sad, and it kind of makes me excited because I'm used to being excited on this. And it's really complicated. So acknowledge it and express it. You might want to text somebody else in your family or that knew them and said, hey, today, so-and-so, they would have loved this day. It's snowboarding season almost. And it's expressing it. So acknowledge and express. That is how you care for your emotions. They do not want to hide. They are there to teach you. Teach you about yourself. Teach you about how you care. Teach you how to get through this. This is a horrible, horrible place. This is not a map you wanted to be in. But those emotions will teach you how to get through this wilderness. Keep a journal. A journal is a wonderful place to put down all of the emotions and all of your secrets and get it out in a way that can be supportive. I love journaling. Most of the time in my life, I only journal when I'm upset or things are bothering me because it gets it out. And I can go back and go, okay, here's a pattern I have, or here's a way that I think. And it's wonderful for you too, even if you never go back to it. And sometimes at the end of the experience, you might want to burn the journals. That's up to you. But journaling can be very helpful. And allow yourself to cry. Lots of people are very private about how they cry. So if you find yourself and you're going to be crying, remove yourself for a little bit. If you have to go to work, talk to your boss. Say, I might need to have some privacy here and there throughout the day. May I take it? And hopefully they're understanding and they will let you take the time. And if you don't have an understanding boss, you can always go to the bathroom for 5 or 10 minutes. We are human. And even better is to cry in front of people. Let's normalize these emotions. If you tear up, like I did a few minutes ago, tear up. It's human. Sometimes when I have heard of people who are having a hard time with crying because they need a container, watching a super sad movie is a great way to express some of those emotions. You can focus on something else kind of outside of you and cry, and you know it's within a 2-hour limit that that's going to occur. Very handy. Another thing that I heard recently actually is that it takes that emotions kind of just like sit in us for about 12 minutes. So if you're in extreme sadness, usually it's 12 minutes. If you're continuing on with that, then you definitely need to look at how to express that. So crying bouts may feel like they last forever, but they're probably under 12 minutes. You may have 10 of them in a day, but they will not stay forever. You aren't going to stay forever in that emotion. Emotions are fluid and will move through us. If you aren't a crier, that's okay too. Please don't judge yourself on that. Not everyone's a crier. I've heard people, they're like, oh, I wish I could cry and it would just pour out of me. You can find other ways to express the journaling, acknowledging, taking the time, talking with people. Those are always. It's funny, I thought that this and number 8 would go easily into one session, but we're already running out of time and I have a lot left to go. Listen to meaningful music. We humans love our music, so listen to it, play it, learn an instrument, play an old instrument, sing it. Music is emotion in sound. I run grief groups and sometimes I do a whole session where everyone brings in their music and we listen to that music and the emotions that come out and we talk about it, and it's beautiful and it's painful and sometimes we laugh and there's so much going on. Music moves our souls. It's super important. And also sitting in silence and solitude. Take the time. If you wake up in the middle of the night and it's dark and you're like, how am I going to get back to sleep? Sit in front of a window and look outside. Or if you can go outside, even better. But here it's cold and snowing. But sit there in that silence and solitude and just be. You can pray. You can just let your mind wander. Don't beat yourself up for not being able to sleep. Just say, okay, now's the time for the gift of silence and solitude, and I will commit to myself to feel what I'm feeling. Oh, thank you, Charisma. She says she loves listening to her dad's favorite music. It helps her feel connected to him. Yeah, that is a universal thing that I have heard. So I appreciate you sharing. Thank you. Trust yourself. Trust your body and your natural humanness. These emotions are here to transform you. The cognitive realm. So, oh my Lanta, we just lose the ability to think and absorb information and make decisions. We're forced to make decisions. That's why one of the reasons why we have shock and numbness that happens when we initially find out, and denial, so you can just kind of get through all of those tasks. But please do not make any major decisions during this time. Oh, our brains are not working the way they normally do. And they may not work exactly the same after, but right now they are not working. Not working in a way that's going to help. You might decide to make a decision that's you're chasing something to try to numb your feelings. Don't run away. One of our instincts is to run when we're under stress. It's just like sell everything, do this, do whatever, leave, change everything, quit your job, all the things. Just run. The ink on my hand is because I write with calligraphy pens. So don't do that. Don't make big decisions. You will regret that more often than not. You will have to make some big decisions, but make sure you assess whether or not that decision needs to be made right now. Simplify your life. Try to get rid of any junk mail that comes. Try not to start a new hobby. Just keep with the old ones. Try to keep the clutter down in your home. If you can't keep up with the clutter, then leave it. If you can afford to have somebody come in and take care of it, have them come in and take care of it. If somebody offers to come in and take care of it, let them come in and take care of it. If you can't stand being there when somebody is cleaning up your mess and you're embarrassed or feel guilty, then have somebody else take you out for coffee or watch a movie with you or take you somewhere or go for a walk. Do something. Let people help you with that. Because there's so much going on, you can't even decide what to eat. How are you going to decide all the other big decisions? Write things down. Short-term memory is really at a premium. You will lose it. I remember during one friend's grief situation, she realized that she accidentally threw a $100 bill in the garbage can because she was just cleaning up and it was another piece of paper to her. And there we were in the middle of the night digging through the dumpster looking for her $100. Your short-term memory and your just awareness of what's going on is impaired. Oh, that's nice, Prisma. Thank you for sharing that. She says, when my grandfather died, my best friends came over while I was at the funeral and cleaned the whole house and cooked some meals. I've never forgotten. Those things are powerful. Thank you for sharing. That is really awesome. Write things down. Do not be afraid to write them down. Use the notes option in your phone. Set alarms and reminders for yourself. Everything. Write it all down. It is okay. Our worlds are busy and your brain is not working right. It has had a major attack. Say no and set limits. If you need to block out time for your sleep, block out time for your sleep. If you need to block out time that you know you are not operating at your best at that time of day, block that out and say you have something really important to do. Because you are important. That is the biggest thing. You are important. So set those limits for yourself. Say no. If you have friends, you can let your friends know, I'm not going to be able to reach out to you the same way. Please reach out to me. Or please don't reach out to me. I just don't have the capacity at this time. I promise I will come back to you. It's hard. Some people may not like it. But again, this is your life and you are the most important. Practice patience. Ooh, patience for yourself and for this process. I know the last 2 years, often I pick a word of the year to remind me of something I'm working on. And one year I had picked this really awesome word. It was like abundance or something. And it just kept repeatedly coming at me. You need to learn patience. Patience, patience, patience. And actually it's been about 2 years since that started happening, and I'm still working on patience. Patience is something that is self-care that I don't think many of us talk about. So be patient. We're going to be running on again today. I think that these videos are turning into an hour videos. I hope it's not too boring for people, but if it's for you, it will find you. That's where I need to land. Take some time off work. Yeah, in our society, work is everything. I've been in some communities where if you aren't working, there's something wrong with you. I know in some families, if you aren't working, something is wrong with you. Please take the time off work if you require it. You are worth the time. And you may not be physically working at your job, but you are working on you. This is a transformational process that is for you. You are not wasting time. You are not being unproductive. You are being so productive. Oh, thanks, Prisma, for that feedback on how long we're taking. Productivity is not always your output that you get paid for. Taking care of this, your body, your soul, your being, is so important. And it's important to how productive you are going to be in the future, if that helps you feel like this time. So remind yourself a lot that this time is for you, and you can't chase healing. You can only experience it. The social realm. This type of death most expressively can impact your social world. You will feel disconnected from a lot of people. I shouldn't say most likely. Some people won't. I have to remind myself as well, all grief is individual and all experiences are individual. So yours will be individual, but you may experience your social world decreasing. Your links to family and friends and community and all of those supports may be weakened. Sometimes they're strengthened. It all depends on the people that are surrounding you. Caring for your social self. Recognize that your friendships will probably change. There are going to be people who were at the top of your friendship list who suddenly disappear. There are going to be people who were probably on the bottom of your social friendship list who will rise. They may have had the same experience. They just may be more compassionate people. It's going to change. And it's part of a secondary impact of any death, but even more so when one is taboo and stigmatized. So please breathe. And if a relationship is strained, you can be honest and you can back away from it. And that's okay. Relationships change and they ebb and flow all through life. So move towards those who are supportive. If a river is flowing and a giant log falls in the way, the water goes around it. So those people are like giant logs and we need to go around them and find a better path. So you might find yours turning off some family members and some friends, and you are turning towards others. And that is perfectly part of the process. Take care of you and turn towards those who are helpful. They are helpful and they're for you for a reason. Try to identify 2 people who can be someone that you can turn to at any time that you need. And you can be honest with them. Are you one of those people? Are you one of those people that I can turn to whenever I need you? What are the restrictions? And try to find 2 people who will be able to be there for you as much as possible. And talk about a way for if they can't be there for you, how to gently let you know. And the reason why I say 2 people is because everyone else has lives too. So we need to have 2 in case one is busy at that time. And that's okay. It doesn't mean they don't care. It just means at that moment they've got something else they just really have to deal with. And that's okay. So please find at least 2. You can reach out to counselors. Hi, I'm one. Support groups. I run those too. And other additional resources. Online, there's an infinite amount of support groups. And I was really hoping to talk about support groups and stuff more today, but I don't think we're going to get to that because I'm just working on touchstone number 7 still, and it's already over 40 minutes in. So find a way to connect to others and or to nature every day. So connect with nature. We are grounded human beings that are connected to the earth and made out of the same things and the same stuff. So be connected. Connect with people. If you realize, oh, I didn't reach out to anybody today, please try to reach out. And if you can't even imagine reaching out, go outside. Watch the snow fall. Watch the grass grow. Watch the leaves change. Watch the leaves grow. Whatever's going on in the season and around you, pay attention to it and look. It will help ground you to the here and now. And you need to be grounded to the here and now. It doesn't sound like a social thing, but it is, because we're all living a common experience in our areas with our weather and our land, and that is a connection. The spiritual realm. I always need to have big breaths to remind myself that it's okay, and this is okay, and you're okay. We're all okay. You're going to get through this. So spirituality has different meanings for different people. For some people, spirituality is tied to religion. Some people's spirituality is not tied to religion. The fact is that human beings are spiritual beings. When someone dies from a suicide, it is a mystery. And a mystery is linked. You can understand a mystery. You don't know, like a mystery is I don't know. And death from suicide is I don't know. And Dr. Alan Wolfelt talks about how the word mystery is the ancient name for God. I had not heard this before. So God is a mystery. And suicide death is a mystery. You can't totally know. You can't totally understand. It's an experience. And spirituality is your experience. Spirituality will come from the questions. Why did this happen? Will my life be worth living? You may experience a loss of faith or doubt or feel distant from your sense of spirituality. But this doubting is part of spirituality. It's part of learning and questioning and understanding. It's all part of that transformation. It's like that caterpillar. It's all squishy and mush, and everything that it knew fell apart. But faith and its spiritual being transforms it. It transmutes it. And that's how I see, and how I'm learning more and more to see what spirituality is. So how to care for your spiritual self. You can nurture your hope. Human beings have hope. And if you even have a tiny spark of hope, do everything you can to nurture that and look around for any places where there's hope. One of the things that I heard once was, when you see an accident or disaster, don't focus on the disaster. Look for the people who are caring and supporting. Those are the people who have hope. And hope is which makes us rebuild and relive and transform. So nurture your spirit. Surround yourselves with people and images and thoughts that are positive. Pay attention to your underlying values and beliefs. This person dying may have shaken that, and you may have thought they had the same values and beliefs in some aspects. And we can never know exactly what brought them to that. But you can always hold on to yours. Because somebody else doesn't prescribe to your values and beliefs. That doesn't take them away. They're yours. They're yours. And if you need to adjust them and change them to fit, they're still yours. They're yours. You can listen to inspirational messages. There's a multitude of stuff on YouTube. Listen to music that inspires you and creates hope. And always connect with nature. Go to the woods. Go to the ocean. Go to the lake. Go to the river. Go to this tiny creek. Where I'm at, there's canals. There's trees. Just sit in the grass on your lawn and look at the lawn. Look outside the window at the snow falling. Connect, connect, connect. That is how you nurture your spirit. We already talked about sitting in the sanctuary of stillness. This is again sitting in the sanctuary of stillness. Be still. Be with yourself. Be with those feelings. Nurture them. And if you have questions, ask them. And if you need to rant inside your stillness, you can rant inside your stillness. It is all part of the change. He talks here about going to exile. So be alone and spend time alone. I personally remembered a time of extreme grief, and I found a place that I love with no cell phone service or anything. And I packed a futon in my vehicle, and I just stayed there for 4 days in the silence, away from everything and everyone. And I talked to deer, and there was a bobcat. I had never seen a bobcat before. They're so amazing. And I just experienced that, and I exiled myself from everything just for a little while. Not forever. Don't make a big decision and run away. This is planned. Always planned. Start each day with a prayer, or meditation, something that sets your day, sets your spiritual guidance. Pray to whomever, however, whatever, for you, so that you can feel that support and know that this world, whatever the creator is, whoever you believe in, they can totally handle everything that you've got. Isn't that amazing to know that our spiritual basis can handle whatever we've got? Create a sacred space of sanctuary. So whether this is indoors or out, create a space where you can have some sanctuary. You can contemplate. So he says the word contemplate means to make space for the divine to enter. So make some space. I find that a lot of people use their bathtubs. That's a space where they can contemplate. And I've learned recently you can really make your bath a special space. You can have candles and plants and flowers and essential oils and anything you need to make that luxurious for yourself. Music, that's a sacred space. If you don't have an actual gazebo or something outside that you can go into, you can make a space in your home. This one made me so happy. It's celebrate a sunrise. So one thing to do, I'm going to add to this one. So the night before you plan to see the sunrise, watch the sunset. The sun setting is an ending. And it's the day and the brightness just descending into the darkness. And the darkness is still and quiet. And it's a time of hope. Hope that the sun will rise again in the morning. And then take that time before the sun starts to rise to wake up and feel that hope and that anticipation. And then watch that sunrise. And know that new day is happening, and that hope was realized, and it is there for you, and it is beautiful, and it is cyclical. Watch the sunrise. I add watch the sunset before. Know that you are loved. Look around. Look around for the people that do love you. Someone you love is gone, but there are people around who still love you and want to be loved by you. Search for them. See them. Blink your eyes and see them. Find a spiritual director. So this could be related to your religion. This could be related to somebody who guides you through awesome meditations on YouTube. This could be somebody whose book you read and it resonates for you. Find someone who can guide you on this journey if you were unable to do that totally on your own. I am not an advocate of doing everything totally on your own. It's good to reach out and have connection. You might find a new community who's amazing for you. You can explore, and you deserve the time. This one was cool. It's sigh. You've probably saw me sigh a lot in this video. I'm going to read directly from the book on this one. In Romans 8 it says, when there are no words for our prayer, the spirits intervene and pray for us in sighs deeper than anything that can be expressed in words. Sigh deeply. Sigh whenever you feel like it. Each sigh is your prayer. Breath is so important. And I love the depth this gives to the sigh. There's, I don't know if I've talked about it before, but in the movie, yeah, I've talked about this before, I'm sure. I love this movie so much, except I can't remember the name right now. It's the feeling movie, Inside Out. There's a point in the movie where one of the characters who's very vital for the other characters to get to a certain spot in time while the whole world is falling apart, just kind of sits down and starts watching the world fall apart and is like, eh. And the character that is Joy is jumping around trying to joy this sad little character, like this defeated character, out of its feelings so that, you know, they can move towards the safety. And then the little sadness character comes along and she sits down beside the distraught character and starts to talk about the sadness and the emotions that this very pivotal creature is feeling. And they have a conversation about it, and all of a sudden, his name's Bing Bong. Bing Bong takes a deep breath, and he sighs, and then is able to get up and do what is needed to carry on. Sighing is a huge, huge gift. It's the sign of change and hope, and there's so much. Just giving up, surrendering, sighing. I was super excited to find that. And spend time in thin places. So this was a cool concept for me as well. I love how Dr. Alan Wolfelt's able to put things into words. In the Celtic tradition, thin places are spots where the separation between the physical world and the spiritual world seem tenuous. They are the places where the veil between heaven and earth, between holy and the everyday, are so thin that when we're near them, we intuitively sense the timeless, spiritual, boundless world. There's a Celtic saying that heaven and earth are only 3 feet apart, but in the thin places that is even smaller. They are often outdoors, often where water and land meet. The land and the sky come together. Might be on a riverbank, a beach, or a mountaintop. Go to thin places to pray, to walk, or to simply be in the presence of the holy. I bet everyone has an idea where their thin place is. Mine's at Writing on Stone, which are hoodoos in southern Alberta. Oh, I love that place. And you can feel it. And I know you can too when you go to your place. And finally, self-compassion. Self-compassion is an amazing thing that we can do for ourselves. And if you're interested in more self-compassion, please look up Kristen Neff. You can see her TEDx talk on YouTube. It is the space between self-esteem and self-compassion. And she's a lovely launch pad for that. I have her book on self-compassion and a training manual and all kinds of things, and I am all kinds of self-compassion person. Sorry, we did not get to Touchstone 8. I will do that one next week. But this one is how you can help support yourself now on your own and with the help of others. And next time I will talk about getting help from others. How to do that. In our society where we're so busy trying to do everything on our own, how do we go about asking other people? And I apologize for not getting to that one today. That was my intention to get there. But we did do an hour on how to take care of yourself. And I talk all the time about taking care of yourself. You are important. The work you are to do right now is you. That is your work. You have lots of other people pulling at you and things pulling at you and beliefs and so much. But you are your work. You are literally in the cocoon. And you are the important one. So, thank you again for spending time here. Thank you again for taking time for you. Please share. Please share. I know it's vulnerable sharing information like this, but please, please, please do. You have no idea who it's going to help. And if you have any questions for me, any feedback, anything, please let me know. Thank you so much, and I will see you next Monday. See you next Monday.